I'm going to play for you a portion of this video. You could watch a full video on YouTube. In it, he talks about the political state of Israel created in 1948. These are Khazarians, the 13th tribe, identity thieves. These are the people they refer to in Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make those of the synagogue saying, which says they are Hebrews and are not, but lie. Are you guys familiar with the stoning of Stephen by the freemen, as in Freemason? Jews from where Cyrene, and Joshua was hung in Cyrene, Africa. But Jah also told them that these descendants of his would leave this land and live in a foreign country, there become slaves for 400 years. But I will punish those nations that enslaved. Jah told them, and afterwards my people will return to this land of Israel and worship me here. Because Judah rejected Joshua and Mashiach, they were enslaved for 400 years. And that's why it says, and all the people answered, his blood be on us and on our children. And the 400 years were up in 2019. These people never were enslaved. They never went on ships. In fact, they were on all the medias and the banking corporations. And I explained this before, that Jerusalem is America. America is Mystery Babylon. And we lost our lands where we fell into captivity. And this is from the reading of Revelation. Gog and Magog are going to come and invade what? Jerusalem and Jah's people. That's China and Russia. And by the way, those soldiers are already here. These Chinese military men, along with the Muslims, are pouring in through the border. And they're being sent to all the states.
Nation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Now I'll tell you, we'll stop there. I'll tell you, most people in Christianity believe that what this verse is talking about right here, this nation shall not pass away until all these things will be fulfilled, is the 1948 political state of Israel. And so most people are believing that, it's been 70-something years since that nation, and so the time should be here. But I'll tell you, the devil is pretty tricky at what he does. Anybody agree that he's pretty decent at what he does? I hate giving him credit, but he is the adversary, and he is good at flipping things upside down. And the reason that I really want to share this study, again, I talked about this a couple of years ago, I talked about this last night, and I want to talk about it again today, is because I believe the deception is so thick regarding this that we need to dig into the scriptures so that we're not deceived. He says even if it were possible, the elect would be deceived, but I believe he gives the elect away through the knowledge of his scriptures and the Ruach HaKodesh he gives us to not be deceived. So I'm here to tell you that this nation is not this physical state that was planted by the Rothschilds and the Edomites. I believe that his nation of Israel is his people. The blood of the prophets and the saints are in her. And our Messiah, who is our amazing teacher and our example, said all the blood is on the head of Jerusalem. The scriptures define Mystery Babylon as Jerusalem. Now that we've properly identified Mystery Babylon, let's go to 2 Esdras chapter 15. And brings us back to the main point, which is what's going on today in the world, in the headlines, and what may be coming very soon. And the reason I think this is incredibly important, going back to what the enemy does, the enemy has propped up this political state of Israel as the fulfillment of the regathering, which in Jeremiah, it's talked about twice that when this regathering happens, he says no one's going to talk about the first Exodus anymore because this is going to be so big, the whole world's going to see it. No one's going to even talk about the first Exodus anymore. That literally has not happened. Everyone still talks about the first Exodus. No one says like, wow, this is some great, amazing event. Right? There's a couple of pictures of people coming off of airplanes and stuff, Anyways, it also says that when they're regathered for the final time that they will dwell in safety. That has fallen short as well. The reason I'm saying this, most of Christianity believes verses in Zechariah 12 where it says, Yah will defend Jerusalem in that day against all her enemies. And people are like, yeah, no one's touching my Israel, right? Think about this also. It says, that nation shall not pass away until all these things be fulfilled. What happens? Just what if the book of Revelation is right and Mystery Babylon is annihilated, destroyed? What's going to happen to the faith of many people who are not ready for that, who believe that political state of Israel is the fulfillment? What's going to happen? Well, the nation just passed away. Now what? Right? Yah said that he's going to defend Jerusalem. What? unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Pause real quick. I've said this so many times. Stop worrying about what the enemy's plans are for you. Do we serve the Elohim that's greater than all of them or not? Let's walk in that. Verse 5. Behold, says Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Pause there real quick. Some people there could be like, well, how would you serve this God that just destroys everybody? Right? In Revelation 9, it says that he brings these plagues, and it says men still did not repent of their murders and their fornications. In the book of Jasher, in chapters 4, 5, and 6, you see that before he even brought the flood upon the earth, he brought great earthquakes, and he destroyed the crops, and he brought small floods upon the people in order to terrify the sons of men that they might repent. They might repent of their evil works. It's much in a similar way, much like a lot of us. Some of us have experienced really hard times in our life. Well, that pressing is good for us. It gets our attention. Hey, he's like, seek me, seek my face. Anyways, all right, back on topic here. So I just wanted to explain why Yahweh brings plagues upon the world: sword, famine, death, destruction. Verse 7, therefore, says Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cries unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Reminds me in Revelation, they're like, how long, O Master, will you not judge them that dwell on the earth? Verse 9, and therefore says Yahweh, I will surely avenge them all, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them out with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all its land. I believe, I could be wrong, I believe that America is end times Egypt. But going back to the point of sharing this is not like just being like, haha, that land's going to die. No, the overall point is for us to not be deceived when these things to come to pass. Also, it says very clearly to come out of her. If we have properly identified Mystery Babylon as Jerusalem, or what was the sin of Jerusalem? They were married. Jerusalem was married to the Most High, had one foot in with him and one foot in with the nations, right? This mixture, which Yah hates. If we're going to serve him, we serve him with all you have. That's what Messiah boldly says. I wish that you were cold or hot. Choose one. Don't be a fence rider. Don't be in the middle. I'm going to spew you out of my mouth. And so if we have properly identified Jerusalem as Mystery Babylon, this is a continued call that I've been felt led to continue to call, is that we are not to partake in Judaism, right? We're not to become these Jews that follow after the traditions of men. Because if you look at Messiah's ministry, a lot of his ministry was what? Rebuking the Pharisees. They didn't rebuke them for keeping the Torah. He rebuked them for doing away with the Torah and instead keeping the man-made traditions. A lot of things that Christianity is also guilty of. We're not here to judge them, but we're here in love to be like, hey, come out of her. Because even Christianity, right? Christianity is a daughter of what Jerusalem did.
Khazars, the Jewish encyclopedias tell us that in the 8th century A.D., Jewish missionaries ventured north of Babylon to the land of the Khazars between the Caspian and the Black Seas. Khazaria was a vast grassland on what is now the plains of southern Russia, inhabited by a race of merchants, artisans, and warriors of Hunnish Turkish stock. About 740 A.D., the king of the Khazars converted to Judaism and made it the state religion. Incredibly, within a few centuries, the people of Khazaria convinced themselves that they were not Gentiles after all, but the physical descendants of Abraham. Thus, by the 10th century A.D., a nation of proselyte Jews thrived in what is now central Russia. During the Middle Ages, the fierce Mongols from the east and Russians from the north drove the Khazars west out of their ancient homeland. Most settled in Eastern Europe, especially Poland, where they established communities of artisans and traders.